Yo, what's going on, man? It's your boy Rick. I'm back again real quick, man. So check this out. I want to do something that I've been wanting to do for a while, right? And so what we call this is we call it mock the mock. I know y'all have seen this on other channels. I've always thought it was fun. So I want to do the same thing myself on this channel. And so I couldn't decide which one I wanted to do. So I kind of just flipped the coin on a couple of them, and that's how I ended up with the mock that I'm going to do. I've seen Mel Kuypers, I've seen Todd McShay, a lot of the bigger name ones, which I plan on doing as we get closer to the drafting that's coming up. Also, me and Cuz, we got to do our 2.0 mock draft where we kind of go through. And the next time, we're probably just going to do all of the teams, and the way we just thought about doing it was we're going to do all the teams. And so he'll take the even numbers, I'll take the odds, or vice versa, and then we're going to do what we think those teams should do in that particular situation. But without further ado, man, let's go ahead and mock this mock. So this is going to be on CBS Sports, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna pull up the CBS Sports, and then I'm gonna just kind of roll through the mock. And they have some trades in here, but I'm only kind of go through the first round of it real quick. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but let's just go through and see who everybody has. So the first pick that they got in the draft is Cam Ward to the Titans. I think that's kind of the consensus. Now everybody kind of agrees. The league feels like he's better than Shador. Probably not better, but they feel like he has a bigger upside. So that's kind of self-explanatory. Travis Hunter going to Cleveland. As you can see, they have him as the number one prospect. Not surprising. He's the number one prospect on a lot of boards. So that pick makes sense. Armand Membu, who had a great combine and a great Senior Bowl and stuff. He moved up a lot of people's boards pretty rapidly. For him to be the third pick I don't see that happening in this draft for the Giants at all. But at the same time, I get it because, I'm never against going against great tackle prospects if you see them high in the draft. Abdul Carter, second prospect on the board. If he drops, you have to take him right here. That makes the definite most sense to me. If you don't have a person that you like for a specific reason, you take Abdul Carter every time. Ashton Genty to Jacksonville, I think is pretty crazy. For him to go this high in the draft. He's clearly the number one running back. I expect him to go higher in this draft than most running backs, but I kind of expect him to go to a team that needs that more. I think Jacksonville will probably go corner or D tackle. Tetero McMillan, to me, is still the number one receiver on my board personally. So the Raiders, I have no problems grabbing him, adding that to help out Geno and everything. That makes perfect sense. Shador is going to drop. If he drops to the Jets, I think this is a bad idea for the Jets at this point, especially once you grab Justin Fields. Now you have two young quarterbacks battling in the room. Yeah, I like it better when you have a younger guy and a more veteran guy, and they kind of go back and forth from that. So I don't like that for the Jets at all. Will Johnson to the Panthers, I'm not mad at that. They just locked up J.C. Horn. They want to put somebody on the other side. Not mad at that. I would think the Panthers would add some offensive help for the young quarterback, but I get it. Mason Graham is probably the best player left on the board. A lot of people super high on him. I'm decently high on him, but I'm not mad at that for the Saints. The Bears taking Shamar Stewart. That's clearly just some upside and potential. His numbers don't translate from college. That always worries me. I don't care how freakishly of an athlete you are. Eventually, you got to make the plays. That one bothers me. Will Campbell to San Fran. I know a lot of people saying, well, Campbell might be a guard. If San Fran takes him, they obviously want him to be a tackle. They want him to replace Trent Williams when he retires. That's a clear San Fran pick. Shanahan, they like to bulk up they line. That makes sense to me. Mikael Williams to Dallas, I think is not necessarily a great pick. He weighed more than I expected, which is good. In case, like as far as setting the edge. But adding another pass rush, I don't think is what Dallas needs right now. They need to add another playmaker while they like through the draft. In my opinion, I think their defense has been vastly underrated. I don't think they've been great, but when they're not suffering a bunch of injuries, they're solid. But having two explosive pass rushes, I get it. Tyler Warren, do it all tight end to the Chargers makes perfect sense for Harbaugh. Kind of offense he likes to run. He loves his tight ends. Perfect pick. I love that. Jalen Walker to the Colts. The Colts definitely need an edge. They have him as the number 2 position rank, which is kind of surprising to me, but they definitely need an edge. And Jalen Walker has the explosiveness. He's been dealing with a lot of injuries, but he has the explosiveness to do the position. And I think people like James Pierce and stuff just dropped because of the off the field stuff. Mike Green to Atlanta is a great pick. Atlanta has been bulking up their interior for a while. They grabbed Rukaroro last year. So grabbing an edge guy, especially an explosive guy like Mike Green, I think is great. Has all the pass rush skills in the world. Matthew Golden, I think, is a very complete receiver. I think he's underrated. I think he's probably going to be a star in the NFL. Him going to the Cardinals, I'm not sure. They gotta kind of figure out what's going to happen with Kyler and everything. Because you keep adding weapons, but it's the way they run the offense. You know, they started off getting Marvin Harrison the ball, but that didn't last long. So I don't know. Donovan Jackson going this high, it's kind of surprising, but I get that Cincinnati is saying they probably have them that ranked that high on their board. Grab O-line, let's protect our quarterback. I get it. If I was them, I'd have probably went defense in this draft, but I get it either way. Kelvin Banks, it's probably my number 1 tackle. He's probably my number 1 tackle. Well, no, Mimbu is probably my number 1 tackle. So he's probably number 2. But, great just getting talent in the first round pick. Not mad at that at all. Derek Harmon to the Steelers is a very Steelers pick. I didn't mention the trades that were happening, but y'all can kind of tell. Y'all know where these teams are supposed to go. Derek Harmon, I think to Steelers is a very Steelers type pick. It doesn't really move the needle for them, but it's why they continue to have a great defense year over year. Colston Loveland to the Broncos, fantastic pick, great fit with the coach and everything. Sean Payton, thank you. I was having a brain fart. Great pick. Jahdae Barron to Tampa Bay, also to me, fantastic pick. Perfect pick, perfect location where he can do his thing, come in there, be a starting corner, put him right outside on the edge. He had a great season at Texas this year. Josh Connolly Jr. to the Dolphins. I'm not really sure how I feel about Josh Connolly. He's probably the best tackle that's left. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I missed somebody, but the Dolphins definitely need O-line help, so I get it. But yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about Connolly just yet. Emeka Egbuka to Green Bay is also one of those ones where I kind of like all of the Green Bay receivers right now. But Emeka Egbuka is just talent that's dropping, and you kind of got to just do something about it because the talent is just dropping down the board. So it is what it is. Nicky Emmanwori, that actually might be a good pick for them. He dropped to them. You can't be mad at it. Hitman Harrison and stuff is getting older. You're gonna need a safety. I don't think you would want to. I mean, you got to kind of mix him in and let him play as a rookie because of how much he jumps off the screen when you watch him. But that might be a pretty decent pick for Minnesota. Texans got to go O-line after what they did in this offseason. So I think Gray Zabel is probably the next best O-lineman left. You definitely take him. So it looks like Jaguars, they did a trade earlier, so they still got to get back in the first round and still got Walter Nolan. Like I said earlier, they should have went D tackle, but Walter Nolan is probably the most. He probably got the highest upside of any D tackle in this draft, so that is a great pick for them. Malachi Starks is a very Baltimore type pick. You know, Baltimore always finds one of those really, really just good, solid defensive players to drop to them in the first round. So you have to take the talent because he just has it. Nick Scorton. Nick Scorton is also out of Texas A&M, like Shamar Stewart. Did not have the production in college. The final year that bothers me. But has all the tools to be great. So the Lions can kind of coach him up, and you put him on the other side from with Aiden Hutchinson. That works out because then he doesn't get the pressure. He has time to grow and learn, but the athleticism is there. James Pierce Jr. to Washington would be great. Like I said, they say he had the off the field issues, but pound for pound, talent for talent, is one of the best players in this draft. I would love that for my team. I don't really care about the off the field issues at this point, because if you can draft him into a good organization and he can buy in, he'll be okay. But I'm not super concerned about that. I think that'll be a great pick. Kenneth Grant to Buffalo. I get it. Kenneth Grant. They want him to be a first round pick really bad. I think he's definitely a run stuffer. I don't know if that's Buffalo's problem per se. I think they probably need more of a rusher, especially if they could get an interior rushing guy to help them. But not mad at the pick. Josh Simmons to Kansas City. He might be probably a bit of a project, but if he falls here, they're definitely going to take him because they're still trying to figure out that tackle spot. So I'm not mad at that pick. Siobhan Revel would be a great pick for the Eagles. They keep adding talent. They just traded away big play Slay. So you got Mitchell on one side, you got DeJean in the slot. You add Siobhan Revel, they'll just have a talented roster all the way across the board. I'll look at a couple of these top second round picks. Jackson Dart to Cleveland is probably, that's really smart actually. I would like that. Amari Hampton to the Giants. Okay. Xavier Watts. I just want to scroll down a little bit. Trey Harris to Dallas kind of sticks out to me. Andrew Mabuka to Washington. Okay, so either way, like I said, y'all, I just really wanted to do the first round, just kind of giving y'all my perspective and my thoughts on what the CBS mock draft was. You know, there's going to be a 2.0 and 3.0 and 4.0 and all these mock drafts. So I just want to be in the mix because for me, y'all, this is super fun. So y'all just give me y'all thoughts. Y'all give me, if y'all want me to mock any team, any specific teams, if you want me to mock their drafts, y'all opinions on everything. And so, you know, just get up with your boy, man. Like, comment, subscribe. This your boy, Mr. Ricky Doses, LIB Media, and we out here. Peace.